Yer. What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great, beautiful, wonderful day today. We're already 2 days in the week. You gotta be happy about that, right? Closer to the weekend. And welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and every topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. As always, it's your host, your boy, Jayson Estrera. Now, last night there was obviously no playoff games, but we did have an Indiana Fever game last night. Like I said yesterday, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Aces and their loss to the LA Sparks. But more importantly, what the hell is going on with the LA Lakers? We're going to talk about their head coaching troubles and what the hell is going to happen with them moving forward. But first, we got to talk about a little blunder that I had. And, I always say at the top of the show that we have to talk about, that we got to talk about basketball, sports, and everything in between as accurate as possible. And I did not do that yesterday. I started spewing some shit about Team USA. This is, in fact, the roster. Aaliyah Boston and a few of those other women were not actually on the team. I don't know what fucking article I was reading. That's why I was thrown off. I was like, how the hell do you have two players from the Washington Mystics on this team? And it's because they aren't. So this is the actual list. These are the players. These are the women that will be going to the Olympics representing Team USA. And when you look at this list, there is no name or person statistically that you could put Caitlin Clark over. However, that doesn't change the fact that I think she should be on the team. Now, the obvious one, which everyone has been roasting, has been the Diana Taurasi, because, obviously she is one of the greatest players ever, but only scoring, 16.6, 37% shooting, 34 rebounds and assists, where Caitlin is actually averaging more than her in all of those categories. But you're talking about a GOAT or the GOAT in Diana Taurasi. And so you can understand why they wouldn't take her off of that list. However, I'm still of the mindset that you're in a stage right now where building the popularity of the WNBA should be priority number one. And I understand the thinking that they don't want to dilute their game because they have a product and a game that they believe in. The integrity in the sport, right? But you got to get people to the arena first. Once they get there and realize, oh shit, Aja Wilson's good as fuck at basketball. Oh shit, Brianna Stewart is good as fuck at basketball. Oh shit, Sabrina. Oh shit, Kelsey Plum. Oh shit, Chelsea Gray. Oh shit, Alyssa. But you have to get them in the arena first. You see, for a lot of folks, the first time they will see these other women play will be when Caitlin Clark plays against them. And if you take the person that has the biggest spotlight and put her around other stars, guess what? It's going to shine even brighter. Because now her star is going to reflect everybody else's stardom. And all of a sudden, you get exponential growth in the sport. But you take her off of the list, and now you have to deal with what you guys have had to deal with with the years without her, which is your viewership, which is your sales, all the shit you guys were complaining about. Everything that everyone from the WNBA was complaining about, views, pay, the way that they're viewed in the public, being respected. This one woman has started that change, whether you like it or not. And the reality is, what she's doing at the end of the day is she's bringing a spotlight to y'all. And if y'all perform, then you take advantage of that light. And for whatever reason, they chose not to put the brightest star on the biggest stage in front of the world. Because for me, she's only taking one spot. That doesn't all of a sudden change whether or not this team can win or not. Because she probably wasn't going to play unless it's a blowout. Granted, this team, the women's basketball, Team USA, has historically been extremely dominant. They're not like the men's. They destroy everybody. So, as a matter of fact, Caitlin probably would have gotten on the floor because these teams are going to get blown out. And she's only taking one spot. Oh, and by the way, it's not like she's averaging 9 and 3 with 2 rebounds. She's averaging almost 17 points with 6-7 rebounds and 5-6 assists. And like I said, this is the worst we're going to see her. Why not give us a glimpse of how she can look on a good team? And now she brings that confidence back to her team. So, yeah, I had fucked up on the team. I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know what article that was. That shit was on fucking MSN. But yeah, I still think she should be on the team because for the good of the sport. And I understand that maybe we've never seen this before, right? Maybe we haven't seen a rookie that was like 50-50 borderline make a USA team. However, we're about to see a lot of things happen for the first time in this sport. So why not make this one of them? You know, obviously I think she should have made the team, but hey, it is what it is. Now, last night, the Indiana Fever took on the number 1 team in the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun. And the Connecticut Sun take the game pretty easily, 89-72. Now, the game for the first couple minutes in the first quarter, maybe going into the second, was relatively close. If you know, it was relatively close. Yeah, it was only in the first quarter. So in the first quarter, I think it was like 15-15 or 15-13. It was something like that. And then all of a sudden, the Connecticut Sun shut that shit out. And they did that behind Dejounte Carrington, who had 22 points with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Shot 7 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. And she also had the task of guarding Caitlin Clark. And Dewana Bonner added in 17 points, had 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. And Alyssa Thomas had 7 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, but had 18 rebounds with 7 assists and 2 steals. Talk about a game. For the Indiana Fever, Aaliyah Boston led all scorers for them, and she had 14 points, 5 of 11 from the field, 4 of 6 from the line, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Caitlin Clark only had 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls in only 22 minutes of play. And where is it? And Nalissa Smith, yeah, she only played 19 minutes tonight. Went 1 of 6 from the field for 2 points, had 3 assists and 2 fouls with a block shot. So let's take a look at how this game turned out.
Mentioned, our team has not played its best offensively. Bonner steps into a 3. Yes! Off the mark as Clark steps into a 3. Defense. Alyssa Smith. Spin move. Floats it. And it. With 7 to fire. Draws a double. Feeds Smith. Sling it outside. And Stanford. Former lottery pick as well, one of 5 first-round picks on the roster for Indiana. Harris catch and shoot. She hits to open the season.
Goddamn.
An all-star starter. Mariah Jefferson. Caitlin Clark in the Fever on May 14th. Bonner's 2 for 2 from 3. Make it.
Into basketball shape by playing hoops. It's wild.
Whoa!
Jones would say the same.
That's cold.
Bonner missed it. Put back with.
It's also about her getting used to playing with her teammates, and that just comes with getting reps in games.
Mitchell for 3. Second last in the league in 3-point percentage, just under 29%. Clark heaves. Outscoring Connecticut 16-13. 7 seconds for the Fever. Down by 18, and Clark is stripped. 1 second for Carrington. Lays it in at the hook.
Great pass.
Nicely done to Jones, but missed the lay-in. How about another try? 3rd time's a charm, yes.
When the ball is in the air, and right there, that high-low action. Alyssa Thomas is so effective on the backside. Indiana's getting caught ball watching.
Wow.
Bonner surveys. Carrington cuts off ball as she foul trouble here at Mohegan Sun a month ago tomorrow. Everyone wants a review. You can't do that. Samuelson lines up a 3.
We're going on this run here.
Harris tied up. Carrington picks it up. Checked in for the Fever. Phantom 9-72. Your final.
Yeah, so obviously, we saw the Indiana Fever take the loss to the Connecticut Sun, and it's not it's odd because they literally went from the worst team against the best team in the WNBA, and it was night and day. They didn't give them anything. They took away all of the things that the Fever do well, which is obviously Aaliyah Boston in the post and Caitlin Clark, getting shots going to her left. Obviously Dejanay Carrington did a great job of, being physical and playing one-on-one defense, but they were also trapping Clark. They were rotating well, forcing other players not named Aaliyah Boston or and I keep missing her name, or Nalissa Smith from scoring and being the focal point. And on offense, the Sun did a great job of just moving the ball and passing in space, right? It was a lot of they hit a lot of backdoor cuts, a lot of passes from the nail, slot cuts. They were just everything was sharp, everything was tight. It was what you expect from the best team against one of the worst teams in the WNBA. The Fever are second to last. And obviously they're much better than the Washington Mystics, but they are still much worse than the Connecticut Sun, and that's really what this came down to. And I guess we could just get into this really quick because I thought it was funny. Another day, another game, and it's another fight with Caitlin Clark, right? Let's take a look at this right here.
Leads to open 3 opportunities.
Bark nudged by Carrington.
Game of the WNBA, forcing 10 turnovers. Right there, you see Dejanay Carrington.
So we obviously saw right there, Dejanay Carrington mocking Caitlin Clark. But this is not the first time that we have seen this before. Look at Chris Paul. The funnier thing about Chris Paul doing that is he's complaining about a move that he probably invented. Him, Steve Nash, they were the early, from what I remember, they were one of the early creators of that move, because the game plan is to be physical with a smaller guard. And so when the other team decides to pick you up full court, that head back, that snapping your head back draws fouls when there's contact. And what it does is now it forces the defender to give you space so you can go up the floor easier. It's basketball. Caitlin Clark, she's supposed to do that shit. And Dejanay Carrington, she's supposed to complain about it. We see this every day in the NBA. Trae Young does it all the time. Steph does it sometimes. Like, all of these players do it nowadays. James Harden, like, it's a move, it's a tactic, it's a strategy, it's a counter to physicality, because physicality is a strategy, especially for offensive guards. And we've seen it be effective. And, last night, Dejounte Carrington held Caitlin Clark to only, 10 points? 10 points on 3 of 8 shooting. 2 of 5 from 3, which honestly, ironically enough, it's not a horrible shooting night. She had 3 turnovers up until that point. It was not the worst. So, let's see. Do I not have it? I guess I don't have it. Here, so let's take a look right here.
And free throws attempted, I'm pretty sure, and that's exactly what we did. So it's not a recipe to win many attempts on things, who knows, but I don't think you can't come out and be like,
in terms of that, talking about,
and they've been fun to watch.
Coach in post-game was talking about just not being pleased with the effort, I guess, all around from the team. What was her message to you all in terms of that?
Yeah, I think it's just like, we can't coach effort. This is a team you can't come out and be lackadaisical against. Like, they're just that good. They're going to punch you in the mouth, and I don't think we had it from the jump. And obviously that's a little disappointing. But that's something they can't.
Yeah, so she's obviously speaking on being benched, and I'm obviously trying to get caught up with the program, and I've read things about Christy Sides benching players for, I guess, what you would call miscellaneous reasons, right? Like, it's just sometimes I feel like there's things that you could just let pass, because at the end of the day, if you're not playing 2 of your best players in Caitlin Clark and Nalissa Smith, then what do you expect to happen? I mean, they had great games. They both played well against where is this? Against the Mystics the other night. And to just kind of sit them because of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, it's one of those things that I could see costing a coach their job, because now the people that have paid to see Caitlin Clark and, someone like Nalissa Smith, who's been playing well, seeing them come up together, you take that away from people because of your ego as a coach. Yeah, maybe they fucked up. Maybe they da-da-da-da-da. But how would things look if we had a box score, a stat sheet for coaches when we think they make the wrong substitution, the wrong timeout call? Is there a stat for that? The wrong play call. You're calling for this. They should have done that. You called for the ball on this side. It should have been. How would it look for these coaches? It's easy sometimes, I think, to critique and bash players when there's film and there's statistics to that we could look at that shows us when someone makes a mistake. However, not everyone can see when coaches make a mistake. And they get away with that, I think, at times. And then when it comes to situations like this where you then allow your ego to take over because I get to run shit around here, I'm the coach, and then wonder why it costs them their job in the end. And it's because of shit like this sometimes. And I was giving her praise the last week or two, because I feel like they've been doing a better job of meshing this offense. But then we have a night like this. And here's the thing. They obviously don't have a great team per se. However, I think they have pieces that they can maximize. Right? I think they need to start playing 4 out. Allow Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell to be the primary ball handlers. Allow Kelsey Mitchell to be the primary person that drives the ball and gets in the paint, gets a foot in the lane, to get easy threes for Caitlin Clark and who is this? Is it Katie Samuelson? I don't remember who it was the other night, but or it could have been Christy Wallace. But they have other capable shooters on this Indiana Fever team. And what I think they need to do is spread the floor out so that Aaliyah Boston has room to operate in the post, because she's been really solid in the post, in one-on-one. So you give her room. You let Nalissa Smith operate in that mid to high post area, opposite side, because she's been really great at attacking the ball on face up off the dribble. And then let everyone play basketball on the outside. Use picks. Excuse me. Use these picks that they've been using, off the ball stuff. Try to get Caitlin Clark going to her left, because that's where she likes to shoot. And play basketball. They have some of these tools, but sometimes you watch them, and the WNBA game is so clogged in the paint still sometimes. And I think the Indiana Fever, ironically enough, has the personnel to sort of play this spread style offense. Now, obviously, the downside would be on the defensive end. How would that look for them for defense? But I mean, you got to try it. See what it looks like to push the pace on these teams. Get them tired. Because at the moment, like the Connecticut Sun, it felt like they just tried to take away everything that the Fever had. And a part of that is the floor is really clogged. Right? Let Nalissa Smith, take a big on the outside. She's quick. She can get to her spot. Like, try some of these things out and see what happens. You're only 3-10 anyway. You don't have that much to lose. So, you're better off trying some shit at this point. And I get you got to bench people. You got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, you don't have 82 games like the NBA. How many let's see. What's the standings right now? All right, so they have played 13 games. They have played 13 games already, and so now we're looking at, they're damn near a third of the way there. So we'll see what happens moving forward. But I wish they would implement some of these things and just try to play a lot faster. Benching them when they could have gotten some really good experience on the floor against the best team in the WNBA, I think was the opposite of what you needed to accomplish. You took them off of the floor for whatever that reason was. So moving forward, we saw the Las Vegas Aces lose to the Los Angeles Sparks, and this was on Sunday, actually. The Aces, they do play, what is it? They play tonight, I believe, right? No, they don't. I could have sworn they played tonight. All right, but anyway, they do. They play against the Lynx tonight. All right, so they lost to the Sparks in a tight game, 96-92, and that came from the back of Derica Hamby from the LA Sparks, who had 18 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 of 6 from the line, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and who is it? Ari McDonald also had 16 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. And Rickea Jackson had 16 big points, 7 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 1 of 1 from the line, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a block shot. For the Aces, Aja Wilson had 31 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 9 of 11 from the line, with 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 6 block shots. Kelsey Plum added in 24 points, 7 of 20. She went 7 of 22 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line, added in 5 assists to go along with that. And it was, like I said, a really tight game. So let's take a look at how it actually, how it turned out.
Mindful of her pace. Mindful of her pace whenever she's that lead guard. Wilson trying to go off the bounce, pulls up, gets the bus. Have missed their first 3. Here's Plum. Has it. Sparks looking to push. McDonald, transition 3. That round up the game for Vegas. Sparks made it count for 3. Here's Plum. Nice spin, left hand. Becky Hammond calls her a young AC. AC as in Alicia Clark. Getting Whitney Colson in off the bench for the first time tonight. Nearly a steer. Here's Wilson around the world. Brown. Guarded by Colson. Step through. Oh, what a find! Goes right off the bounce against Giroux. Put rolls off. Rebound tipped out to Brink. Out to Brown. Space for 3. Wilson trying to turn the corner against Hamby. Tough shot. Brink turning over Wilson. Oh,
wow.
He plays with is really fun to watch. Oh my!
For LA. Plum trying to turn the corner. Cut off there by Nurse. Tries the hezzy. Oh, spin move there by Plum.
Wow. Getting buckets.
Nurse. Transition 3.
If anything, keep initiating that early action and moving the basketball.
Working against Jackson. Wilson. Dreams fall away.
Okay, go to the bank.
Brink a slot 3. She could. McDonald. The blow by Ari McDonald to the cup. I think you want is for Aja Wilson to get going here in this fourth quarter. What a move, McDonald! Just retired. Talbot, long 2.
Goddamn.
Opportunity to tie it with the 3 here.
This was such a good fourth quarter.
Hayes goes down. Break out into a pickup basketball game. Plum, quick trigger 3. Running back by Rickea Jackson. Burrell, corner 3. Hamby thought about the 3. Burrell will let it fly. Nurse. Wilson.
Here comes Aja.
Plum dancing with it. Wilson going to the cup, and she's getting her money worth. Jackson, the crossover against Martin. The defense by this sellout crowd. Plum, no space for the 3. The kick out Wilson. She has space, and she Jackson against Marty. The drop step off the glass. Rickea. The season for LA. Wilson out to Clark. Big foul shot there. Ball inbound.
Yeah, so we saw the Las Vegas Aces lose to the Los Angeles Sparks in a really tight game. We saw Aja Wilson and also Kelsey Plum have a good game, which you obviously need from your two stars. And against a young team, a team that was 3-7 coming into this game, have not been great. Just a young, energetic team. You obviously want to win that game, and they came up a little bit short. And the story of this game for me was Rickea Jackson in the end there, because we saw she was picked fourth, right? She was picked fourth this past draft, and typically when you come across a situation like this and you're across the best player or one of the best players in the WNBA, and she starts hitting shots looking to close this game out, right? She comes up with two big ones, hits a three later on as well too. And you are hitting isolations and just taking those matchups. This is the three right here. Huge three from Aja. And you just take these one-on-ones and you... Like, that's just fucking big time, dog. And, you know, it's little stuff like that can put you over the top, because when you're going up against like the Aces, where they have such they have one of the best players in the WNBA, and she's been rolling and is hitting shots down the stretch, it's important to be able to match that, whether it's by committee, whether it's by another one person. Like, you have to be able to match that. And she hit those two massive shots down the stretch that, you know, they really, really needed, because sometimes, especially young players, they get deflated in moments like that. So for her to come up huge in that moment, hit some big shots, take advantage of her matchup against Kate Martin, that was really, really massive to see. And if we take a look at... And then if we take a look at this is earlier in the game. We actually saw Kelsey Plum and Aja Wilson get some texts.
McDonald finished there though, tips the rebound out. Martin falls, Hamby falls over her, and there's going to be... And Kelsey Plum is irate. Into Wilson against Giroux. Tries to get past Giroux, misses. Tried to follow it up, rebounds loose into the hands of Hamby. Shot clock dark. Eric McDonald says, let's hold it up and try to get a good shot here. And hold on, we got a foul.
I think they got a technical foul on Aja Wilson.
Oh, a technical foul. A technical foul charged against Aja Wilson.
She is
hot. And that may not
yeah, it's
be
fucking
a good
ridiculous.
thing
You tell him, Aja. And to me, what those technical fouls are, it's what happens when when you run into a situation where all of a sudden you have to carry a lot of the load. You know, the Aces have some injuries. And obviously, when a team has injuries, the idea would be to now put a lot of pressure on their star players, being Kelsey Plum and Aja Wilson. A part of that is to be physical with them, like we keep saying. Chelsea Gray is out. Kirsten Bell is out. And that now puts a lot more pressure on Kelsey Plum and Aja Wilson, and they're just showing their frustration. They dropped to 5-4, which is obviously not where they want to be. They're close to 500, and we're getting closer to a quarter of the way through the season. You know, they're about to reach, you know, a quarter of the way of the season for them, and they can't allow themselves to fall in too deep of a hole, even with the injuries. Aja Wilson has been playing phenomenal, but it's time to get everyone else up to speed. Players like Kate Martin, although it's great that she's getting experience right now in real time, will that help them win games is the question. So you know, that's something to look forward. That's something to look for. And you know, we just have to see what happens moving forward. And speaking of, we have to see what happens moving forward. I have 70 million reasons why I think Dan Hurley is stupid. I mean, I got 70 million reasons why. I don't know how many reasons y'all got, but I have 70 million reasons why I think he's dumb, and this is why. Obviously, this came through on the timeline, and Dan Hurley, UConn's Dan Hurley, has turned down the Los Angeles Lakers' 6-year, $70 million offer and will return to chase a third straight national title, sources tell Woj. And I'll tell you why I have 70 million reasons why Dan Hurley is stupid. And it's not because he turned down the offer. It has nothing to do with why he turned down. It has nothing to do with him turning down the offer. It has everything to do with him even entertaining this conversation. Because it was like a month ago. I think it was over a month ago, when Rashad McCants on Gil's Arena said, "Do you see this podcast that these motherfuckers are starting?" Talking about JJ Redick and LeBron James, and said, "Look, he's grooming him to be our coach and to be his coach in real time." And everyone laughed, ha 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 ha, until the reports start popping up. Now, I don't know when they contacted Dan Hurley. I don't expect Dan Hurley to be on Instagram all the time. However, I think you could have made a couple phone calls. And the fact that you muddied your name with all of this, when you could have just said, "Nah, I don't even want to entertain it." Because now that we get the number, I understand you want to chase legacy, and I see all these motherfuckers online talking about, "Oh, of course, well, why the hell would you want to take that job? Why the hell would you want to take that job?" Bro, do you understand? Through 2028, 32.1 over 6 years is his current contract with the UConn Huskies, versus 70 million for 6 years. Now, I'm no motherfucking mathematician, but I'm pretty sure 70's more than 32 by a lot. And to all of those people that said, oh, you don't want to da-da-da-da-da for money, for sell out for money. If you take away the fact that it's $70 million, if the idea of competing and coaching is, at least in my mind, right? The NBA is the highest level of coaching. I think that if you think you're a great coach, that you would at least want to try that, because you are a competitor. You want to test yourself against the best of the best. So if a team wants to offer you something, I can't really blame you for wanting to entertain it, except for the fact that the LA Lakers have known who their coach is going to be for a while now, and they have literally been fucking around with us. And now you look stupid turning down $70 million, more than twice the amount you are gonna get, or you are currently getting, for the UConn Huskies. And by the way, whether he does well or not on the Lakers, and obviously it's not happening, but if he were to go on the Lakers, whether they do well or not in those 6 years will not affect him at all as a head coach going back to college. If anything, that experience will help him. So yes, turning $70 million down is stupid, because he shouldn't have even been in that position to begin with. And if they were fucking around with you, you should have called their bluff and signed that goddamn contract. Like, what the fuck are we talking? How are you online talking about it's good that he turned down an additional $40 million for his family? Generational wealth. But this is the thing that everyone online wants to talk about. Know your worth, your value, do for your but then when someone gets an opportunity because he's performed well, everyone's like, oh, it's great. No, just go back to the 30 million. Fuck the 40 million additional. Just go back to the regular ass shit that you was doing. Go try to win a third national championship. Blase, blase, blah. What? Come on, bro. Y'all can't just try to be like I get that. I don't think he should have been in the position to begin with, but if he legitimately, and I don't think he legitimately got that offer, if he legitimately got that offer, he should have taken it. He should have taken it. Which now leads me to, are the Lakers and JJ Redick playing with us? Because that's how it feels like right now. It feels like, and I don't know if anybody would remember this. But obviously, I'm from New York, and when Jay-Z was dropping 444, and billboards, buses, taxis, 444 started popping up everywhere. And within 2 days, everyone figured out that Jay-Z had an album coming out. And this was, I think, like 3 weeks before the album was supposed to come out. It's called the album rollout, right? And he was like, fuck. Everyone figured it out already. And so, in order to try to divert the attention and fool everyone, He tried to make it look like he had some kind of doc coming out. He had visuals coming out with like I don't think it was Idris Elba. But I think it's the guy that's supposed to be Blade. But he put stuff out to try to fool us, and it didn't work because we still knew an album was coming out, and that's what this Dan Hurley shit is. They were mad that Rashad McCants had. Well, they weren't mad, but Rashad McCants had said this like over a month ago, and everyone just kind of laughed at him. And then all of a sudden, everyone got their little plug, and people start talking, and the news comes out, and they're like, "Oh shit, we weren't gonna say anything until the finals were over because JJ is gonna be calling the games. Let's divert attention. Let's go call up Dan Hurley, offer him $70 million fucking." We knew what was going on. It's still JJ Redick, and I wasn't a believer, but now because everything is falling in line with it. And they're playing us for fools. Because, like, what the fuck do they think we are? Think we're stupid? Like, they think that we can't see what's happening? So those phone calls that JJ Redick was supposedly making aren't real for staff. And that cryptic message that he said about you'll find out after the finals, or it'll be announced after the finals. If you're not the coach, what the fuck is there to announce? You're gonna announce that you're not the coach? You know how stupid that sounds? So obviously, we're here. And now Dan Hurley's name has been just kind of thrown around as it's like they took somebody hostage, and now they've been shooting that motherfucker trying to get the other guy. and I guess some people fell for it, but you gotta know what's happening, man. You gotta know what's happening. They're trying to fill news. And a part of trying to fill that news was also trying to prevent the leak, which has already leaked, which is JJ Redick is going to be the LA Lakers' next head coach. And with that being said, now that that's done, are the Dallas Mavericks done? Because Game 3 is tomorrow, and we are going to find out what the Dallas Mavericks are really made of. And I don't think this is done. I don't think it's going to Game 7, obviously, but I do have a lot more faith in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. And if I were the Boston Celtics, I would not get overly excited because you're still up against two of the greatest players we've seen, even Luka at his young age. And to underestimate them, or to even, like, you can let them win a game. Like, they can win a game, but sometimes it depends on how they win that game. Is it a kind of game that really carries momentum moving forward? Is it a heartbreaking game for Boston? Is it just like how do they lose? And the reason I don't think this is the Dallas Mavericks are done for is because from watching the games, they didn't only get better from Game 1 to Game 2, but they clearly made adjustments, right? Even from the first half of Game 2 to the second half of Game 2, they already made adjustments. And a part of it is this off ball with Luka that I keep talking about. I think they started seeing success with it. I would imagine that the last 2 days, mainly being yesterday, was the coaches trying to figure out the sets and the plays that they have, that they already have, that they can keep using and utilizing to have success in this series. All of yesterday was going over films, where Luka can expect to get those shots. And a lot of today, and tomorrow is probably, more focusing on some of those spots and some of those areas going into tomorrow, honing in those game plans. So I do think that Game 3 will be the best version of the Dallas Mavericks on offense that we have seen thus far. And I think a lot of it will have to do with Kyrie Irving. I believe that Kyrie Irving is the key to this series. And I say that because of this. For Kyrie Irving's career, he's always been, how do I say this? Let me look at his statistics really quick. Why is this shit grayed out, bro? Oh, because it's 1 year. Okay, so for most of his career, he's never been this, I'm going to take 30 shot attempts and try to score 50 points a game. Even in his early years without LeBron James. And obviously, when you get a player like LeBron James, you're obviously not going to be going for 40, 50 a game a night. And so, like this past season, last year, Kyrie has had, some great seasons, averaging 27 plus, but for his career, he's a 23.6 point per game scorer. And that's not to diminish what he does or how great he is. He's just never been the guy that's going to get you 30 plus a game when you need it, game in and game out. He's just never had that in him. That like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, where like, I'm just going to shoot until you can't even take it no more. They're going to shoot until the other team quits, damn near. And he has never quite had that style of play. He's always made the correct play. Even with his ISOs and some of the moves that he makes, if you watch him play to play, he makes the right play consistently. And that's the great thing about him. But in a series like this, where the Boston Celtics' entire defensive game plan is based around one person, which is Luka Doncic, a player like Kyrie Irving, who is top 75, and I think he's a lot higher on that list too. Just because of the eye test, because of what we've seen him do. His stats aren't everything, right? But if Kyrie Irving were to turn a switch on for a couple of games and say, Luka, We've seen how this game looks when you score 30 plus and get a triple-double. We still lose. So what happens if Kyrie Irving becomes the person that gets 30, 35, and 7 or 8 assists? Does Boston have the ability to then shift their attention and their defense to Kyrie Irving? And if that were to happen, how does that then impact Luka Doncic, who ends up getting scenarios where he's like, oh shit, there is no one on me? Similar to what we are seeing happen to the Boston Celtics, where they are taking the ball out of Jason Tatum's hand. And listen, I get it. I get that Kyrie Irving has been getting double teamed on a lot of these pick and rolls, and they're playing tough defense on him, and yada 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 yada. However, and I also understand that this has never been his play style. I'm gonna dribble the ball up, push the ball up and down the. But he's the only one that's capable of it. He's the only one that, out of him and Luka and the other guards that they have on this team, he's the only one capable of really pushing the floor and really pushing the pace. If he gets to dribble further from the basket and have more space from his defenders, I think he'll have more success. If he's able to do pick and rolls from the middle of the floor where Luka has been able to do pick and rolls, I think Kyrie will have some success. And it's almost one of those situations where you have to shift your offense to make it so this guy is basically the MVP of the series in order to win it. And I think that might be what the Dallas Mavericks need, to make this shift where Kyrie becomes the primary guy, because you have that player. It's not like you're getting a random ass player to do it. The question is, can Luka play that like shadow secondary role? And that's the question. And I know I'm throwing out a big what if in there, but I don't think it takes away from the fact that I think Kyrie Irving is the person that can really shift this series for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, when we look over to the other side for the Boston Celtics, we've seen different players step up. We've seen Kristaps Porzingis have a big first game. Drew Holiday had a massive second game. Who's going to step up for the Boston Celtics? For me, on offense, the name that comes to mind is Derek White. I think he's due for a really, really strong offensive game shooting the ball. I think he's been due for one. I also think that because of the way Drew has been playing on offense, that the Dallas Mavericks might opt to choose someone else to beat them from the 3-point line. And I think it would be a mistake, but if they choose Derek White, he's going to get off, or Al Horford might take that shit personally. The other part is, obviously, Jayson Tatum needs to shoot better. Now, they're already double teaming him, whether he's shooting the ball well or not, and he's taken full advantage of it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that he needs to shoot the ball much, much better than he has already. And that's going to be a key for them. So if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm going to try to stop Drew Holiday from getting off. However, you now have to expect someone like Derek White to be aggressive and look for his shot. If he notices, especially, I think he would notice something like that, to now make that shift and be aggressive, which leads me to what adjustments can the Boston Celtics make? Now, for me, the first thing is give Jayson Tatum more touches in the post. You do it, whether it's a Tatum to Derek White pick and roll where White is picking him, so then you can force a switch onto like Kyrie Irving or something like that, or whether it's Tatum picking for Derek White or Drew Holiday or whatever the case is, and trying to get that post up. I want to see Tatum attempt some more mid-range post-up shots. I want to see him try to get going in that way, and then look for drive-in kicks from those other guys, right? You can't just consistently keep him on the corner. I know he likes to be around like the top of the key wing. He's typically their outlet guy when shit gets kind of crazy. So look for him to try to get some shots. They have been doing a good job of closing out on him. I will say that. They the Dallas Mavericks don't lose track of him very often. And that's why he's been shooting the way that he's been shooting, because his shots aren't open and then they're closing out on him, so he's forced to drive and then kick the ball out. But so I think it'll be really key to get him some post-ups, get him some ISOs, so he can try to get going offensively. And, try to score, because we've talked about it. We've talked about it from the beginning. What the hell is going to happen with this team? Or what the hell is going to happen, with Jayson Tatum if he doesn't win the Finals MVP? They're going to shit on him. Because it's like, because it still leaves an opening, right? They want him to score 50 a game, but when he scores 30 plus, obviously I'm exaggerating, but he scores 50 a game, they lose. They're like, "Oh, you trash." Comes back, he's like, "All right, let me go pass the ball," because he said it. He's like, "I've tried that and it didn't work, so I'm gonna try another way." And now he's passing the ball. And if they win and he don't score a lot, even though he's the reason everyone else is scoring, he's still trash. Like, you can't win. And I'm curious as to how this will impact him moving forward, or has he dealt with it for so long that he just doesn't give a fuck anymore? Is he just over it at this point? Because like I said, him and Brown at their young age, they've been dealing with rumors of them getting split up for like 3 years already, and they've only been together for like 6 or 5 or whatever the fuck. So it really is impressive to see what these two young men have been able to accomplish in such a short period of time. And I'm leaning towards a Dallas Mavericks victory tomorrow. I'll be honest. I'm leaning towards it, but we'll see. We'll discuss it some more later in tomorrow's show before the game. Until then, we got some WNBA games tonight, so we'll go check some of that out. Tomorrow we obviously have the game 3. But as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me, listening to me yap, listening to me talk. You could have been anywhere on the internet, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you for that. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching. It's been awesome. It's been another episode. It's your boy, your host, Jayson Estrera. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, because it helps the channel out. And thank you for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.